Is your business stuck juggling multiple platforms to manage workflows? What if there was a way to streamline operations with personalized automation that actually fits your business needs? Welcome to the Manufacturing Connector, your hub for tools and technologies transforming manufacturing and beyond. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and today we are diving into automation solutions with Paul Jackson, founder and CEO of Method. Method is a complete process automation tool built for businesses that use QuickBooks and Xero. Known for their flagship product, Method CRM, they specialize in helping manufacturers, trade contractors, and small businesses transform their operations through personalized workflow automation. In this episode, Paul will walk us through how Method gives businesses their time back by automating critical tasks, from customer management to payments and everything in between, so you can focus on growing your business instead of just running it. Tune in to discover how Method's seamless integration with QuickBooks and Xero can elevate your business operations and drive profitability. Hello, Paul Jackson. Welcome to the Manufacturing Connector. How are you doing today, man?
Good, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks
wait,
for
that was
being on.
that was a great intro. Did you do all that, or is that my team who helped you out there?
That's
That
all
was
me,
a
man.
wow. That was well done. Thank you.
You're very
You
welcome.
can take my job now.
Just hire me. I'll come work for you. I'll write these intros and all that kind of fun stuff. Appreciate you being on. Excited to see this tool. That's the joy of this show is I get to see some really cool technology that provides really sometimes novel solutions to the problems that manufacturers face. And I can't tell you how many times I hear owners talking about wanting time back in their day, especially those small to medium sized shops. So I'm excited to watch this demo you've got today. Before we get started, Paul, I start every episode with a little bit of background on the guest. So give us a little bit of background on who Paul Jackson is and how you got to where you are with Method.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a 48-year-old serial entrepreneur. That's that's me in a nutshell. I started off really early on as a kid with odd jobs around the neighborhood, and started my own a field service landscaping company. And that's
Okay.
how I paid my way through college, and I employed, I don't know, like a bunch of kids from the local high school, and I think that's that's where that was my happy place, is just building a company and learning how to solve problems as a business. So I graduated from from university as a finance kid, and I was
Okay.
supposed to put on a suit and wear a tie, go work for Goldman or one of those companies in New York. That was not me. So I decided to make software for field service companies, kind of
Okay.
automate what I did before. And that business struggled for a little bit, and then it flourished. I had figured it out. And I think we got to 25 staff before
Wow.
we got acquired by a private equity company out in New Jersey. And nobody was going to New Jersey. We all wanted to stay in Toronto. So we transitioned the company to a private equity company and sat around and figured, what should we do next? And
Awesome.
so that's what started Method. I'm
Okay.
also a dad and a baseball coach. I
All
love
right.
baseball, and
All right.
I don't know, that's pretty much
So
all
Blue
there is to
Jays
me.
fan?
Yeah,
All right. All right.
unfortunately, yeah.
Hey, man, Blue Jays back in the 80s and 90s, they were a fun team to watch. They still are, but that's when I remember them more fondly was my childhood, right?
1993 World Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what was his name? Dang, he
Joe
hit
Carter.
that. What's that?
Joe Carter. Joe Carter.
Yeah, Joe Carter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe Carter.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's all you have to say,
the
Joe Carter.
most magical baseball moment. Like, everybody wants to hit the ball over the fence to win the World Series in the
And
bottom
he
of
did it.
the
Yeah.
ninth inning.
The other one, I've got the card back here. Kirk Gibson, 1988 World Series, where he hit that dinger with the bum ankle and he trots around, right?
Yeah, that counts.
That
That's
was
pretty
my
good too.
yeah, that was pretty good too. Um, so you guys started Method. What problem does Method solve? I mean, what does Method do other than what I shared in the intro?
Yeah, man, I hate going to the CRM But it's best to frame it as it's a
Okay.
CRM, right? So it's a front office system, and I think a lot of people think of a CRM as contact management or lead management. I think of it as much more than that. I think of it as a front office tool. So if you think
Okay.
of your back office, that's like your QuickBooks or your Xero, or whatever your accounting system is. Your front office is everything else. So that could be your Excel spreadsheets, a lot of Excel spreadsheets. Could be your contact management, your CRM software. It could be your warehouse software, whatever you're using to manage the shop floor. That's all front office. So I think of CRM as a front office, and that's really what method is. So if you think of a business, you could probably have that back office, which is your accounting, bookkeepers, and finance. Your front office, which is your sales reps, your dispatchers, your customer service. You have management, guys like us who like to look at reports all day. And then, well, I don't like to look at reports all day. I'm supposed to. And then you have where the work gets done. Where the work gets done might be in the field, might be in the shop floor and the warehouse floor. And so all four of those areas talk to each other, um, and they're made better by better communication and reducing or eliminating workflow steps. And
Got it.
that's really how I think of CRM software is handling those workflows for the front office and making sure that that cascades down to the back office management and where the work gets done.
Awesome. Awesome. So, your website very specifically calls out manufacturers as one of your targeted industries. Tell us why you focused on some of these skilled trades as this being a solution for.
Yeah, actually, they found us, which is
Okay.
interesting. So we started off as really what we call a horizontal. It's been made for many small businesses, not necessarily certain industries. And over time, over the years, we found that certain customers were more successful than other customers, and we started building features specifically for those industries. So one of those is field service, like work order management. Another is manufacturing, wholesale, and distribution, like that group of industries. It's actually our biggest segment, and it's interesting because we're not a strong inventory solution. That's not really what we do. Like inventory is handled in QuickBooks or maybe a work order system. It's really the sales, procurement, fulfillment process that manufacturers, wholesales, and distribution companies just use us for, and they tend to be larger, more successful clients.
That's awesome. And so when you look at your ideal customer, who is your ideal customer for Method?
There are, we call them ICPs,
Yeah.
ideal customer profiles for all the. It's funny, I didn't start off corporate in tech, but now I am a corporate ICP. So our ideal customer is one that is 10 or more employees. They're kind of an old school entrepreneur, right? They're adopting digital, but they're not the suits.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are entrepreneurs. They started a business. They worked in a similar company, and they decided to just break out into their own. And they grow their business through learning and through experiences. Mostly in the U.S. That's the vast majority of our
Okay.
customers. Companies doing several $1 million in revenue. I think when you're 10 employees or less, what what start off the company in terms of being being the gel between the front office, the back office. You are the management, and where the work gets done. You don't have that many inefficiencies in your company that need to be solved yet. So you don't really need method. Once you hit around 10 people, you become the bottleneck. And that's where you start looking for systems to solve the bottleneck that you've become as an owner. And so that's who our ideal customer is, one who's recognizing that they're too big for their old ways as an early entrepreneur.
Time to graduate from those spreadsheets to something a little bit more automated.
Yeah, or just whatever's in their head.
Yeah, valid point. Yeah.
But definitely spreadsheets, notes, whiteboards. And those are systems. And there's still a time and place for some of those, but not for your core workflows that you're using every single day.
Sure. Awesome. Uh, you've got a couple of case studies um, and success stories. Can you share those with us?
Yeah, I actually pulled them up on our website. I mean, I can. Actually, there's one extra one I was going to throw in there too, because we just actually talked to this company last week because they're so excited. So what was the name of the company? I wrote it down before I got on here today. Is Waring Williams. Okay, so these guys manufacture like custom cabinets, workbenches, and they do it for hospitals and factory floors, warehouses, and they wanted to get into aerospace. But that was just like way too much. And so what they had was a process when an order went in that we used to take anywhere from 5 hours to a week to basically collect the details, send an invoice, tell our customer that their order was ready. And so they were losing business, and they wanted to go into the aerospace. They couldn't do it, and so that's what they got Method, and they now have it in 10 minutes where they can receive an order, collect the details, inform the customer of all the details on the portal. And so we have this
Wow.
great case study. So it's coming to our website soon, this Waring Williams case study. But for now, I'll switch over to the ones I actually plan to talk about. So I had case study number one was these guys, Container One. So we love these guys. So shipping containers. So they source shipping containers from 200 different suppliers throughout the US and the world.
Wow.
And they resell these shipping containers to residential customers and also commercial customers too. So if you've ever been to a buddy's backyard where he's turned his like container into like his pool bar,
Yeah.
wicked cool,
Yep.
probably came from Container One. So these guys will actually source out the container that is no longer needed for actual shipping and manage that process all the way through to landing in someone's backyard. So they found a huge growth in container demand over the last 10 years. They got Method because their processes were super manual. They would take a purchase order, manually recreate it into a spreadsheet for tracking, send out all the vendor information, the customer information. It was just like it would take days. So they got Method to first collect the website payment, so the website order, use the API to submit that into Method as a purchase order. And then they had a custom process which would take the purchase order, submit it to the customer, to the vendor, and within their own tracking staff to a custom app they created in Method called order tracking, which then makes this process completely simple. So they're able to grow 2x in the last 3 years from just being able to manage this process.
Wow. That's amazing. That's astronomical growth for them.
But they're already a big company. So they're one of our large. So they're already large, and they doubled from their large.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for them.
So we like these guys. So it's on our website. If anyone wants to watch the actual video, it's right there on method.me. Another example be Vintage Makers. Okay, so this company started 30 years ago. They did mostly wine cellars, so custom wine cellars, residential, commercial, hotels. Then they get into the custom humidor business.
Wow.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, it's
Why
similar.
not? It is. Similar clientele. They branched into 6 different states, and then they ran into problems with tax codes, which was different from what they were dealing with before. Jumped to an ERP, NetSuite. Found that it was more work and cost to maintain NetSuite than it was worth it. So went back to QuickBooks Desktop. Found that did not actually solve all their needs, especially from a tax standpoint. And they found Method. And so Method is basically, I think their formula was Method plus QuickBooks equals NetSuite. So it gave them everything they needed from the custom standpoint, as well as the back office piece.
So when people like Vintage Makers are looking for Method, or knowing that they have that issue, that problem that they need to solve, what are they looking for? What are they Googling to find Method?
Yeah, great question. They're probably looking for like CRM alternative, CRM for QuickBooks, which
Okay.
is weird because that's not what you'd normally type in, right?
Right.
They might also be typing in a custom workflow QuickBooks,
Okay.
and they find us there. So I'll show the demo later, but it's really just it's not super sexy like what we do, right? You're just handling like sales orders and estimates and purchase orders and making sure they track correctly and that the right fields are filled out. Like, not super sexy, but people get really excited about it because it solves massive headaches for companies who are trying to track all these pieces of information, make sure it flows through and not have anything fall through the cracks.
Well, and especially in this day and age where, more companies are moving towards that transparency type model where they want to have the reporting that helps inform the entire organization, not just a few people that have that key information in their head. Am I off base in that assumption?
No, that's absolutely right.
Okay.
These companies are modernizing.
Yeah. Awesome. So you said you had a demo for us. Let's see it.
Yeah, so I figured the demo guides could be nice to us, and I'll just take you through a very simple workflow. So there's two main pillars of what makes Method special.
Okay.
One is that sync with QuickBooks, so I'll show you that, and the other is customization. Is that you can basically build anything using no code,
I
either
love
yourself
that.
or you have us do it. And so no code can be intimidating sometimes. So I'll do that. I'll do that part at the end. And so what I'll show is just the sync between QuickBooks and Method, a very basic out of the box workflow of taking an estimate into a sales order, and then I'll customize a sales order just to show you a couple extra fields you might track information on.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah. So,
let's dive in.
let's
So
do it.
here is everyone's favorite product,
Uh,
QuickBooks.
When I saw that QB clients at the top, my skin crawled a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, Paul.
Well, it does its job. It's an
Yeah,
accounting software.
absolutely.
Don't use it for more than accounting, and you're just fine. So you can see inside QuickBooks, we got Amy Ford, Bob Crenshaw, and all these clients, these customers that are in QuickBooks, and I'll momentarily show them in Method. But you can launch Method from within QBO. So I'll launch Method, and that will take you directly into the Method account associated with this QuickBooks file. So they're super, super tightly synced. So if we go into contacts and Method, we'll see those same Amy Ford, Bob Crenshaw, Dave Henderson. Now, if I made a new contact, say in Method, Jim Mayer. So this is just a boring new contact form like you see in CRM software. When you save that, it will go directly into QuickBooks.
Cool. So it's going both directions.
Both directions. You're a lead. You're not a customer yet. One of the benefits of Method is that you can have your leads separate from your QuickBooks customers.
Wow. So you can track leads in here, not just who your customers are, which is a problem I have with QuickBooks right now. Is it's just customers. I'm not using it as that CRM for any of my future or prospecting I do.
Exactly. So I could then convert you to a customer,
Got it.
which would then send you, of course, to QuickBooks. So now when you go to QuickBooks, I should have practiced that part before I did the demo today.
Hey,
there you
there
are.
I am. Yeah,
There you are. So
I like it.
the two do sync perfectly if you are in the right headspace and you don't have a cold that causes you not to think correctly. One thing I'll do is I will imagine a interactions with Bob Crenshaw. So let's imagine Bob Crenshaw is a new prospect of ours. We want to track a CRM opportunity. So in CRM, you have what's called a pipeline, which is all your possible opportunities that you might close, and you want to track the value of those opportunities and the next step to close those sales. So your sales team will know how to do this. This is very standard in the CRM world. They'll do a very basic opportunity, and I'll be one of those custom cabinet companies that we kind of just talked about before. So I will create an opportunity with our custom cabinet. These are items from QuickBooks, and we'll say the amount is going to be $445, and say the stage is at the proposal stage. It's a 7% chance of closing. So if we look at for Bob Crunch's account here, he's got his activities, which are his phone calls and emails. Ignore the fact he's got invoices already because we're pretending he's brand new. He's got an opportunity. I can then create a estimate from this. So now I've created an estimate. And I'm still in Bob's account. I can go to the estimate screen, or I can do all within Bob, which makes it nice from a 360-degree view. And I will then send it to him by email. So the nice thing here, as part of this, the box out of the box CRM, is it will send an estimate for approval to a portal. So the customer can go click on it, which reflects here. Here's the estimate we just got in. They can go view that estimate in the portal.
Wow.
So there's their cabinet. So as a customer now, I now received this estimate and I want to approve it. So a lot of the times, this is what takes a lot of workflow issues, right? It's like trying to get you an estimate to approve, getting that signed document, whether you're doing it physically, printing it off, faxing it still sometimes, or scanning it, taking a picture of it, attaching it to an email. Or if you're using something like DocuSign, it's just extra complication to use a tool like that. It's all built into the CRM. So you can just go to accept and add a signature. And I'll sign Bob, add signature. It timestamps it, gives a unique identifier, which is important for so basically what DocuSign does, right? It makes it legally binding, depending on your state regulations. Confirm. Everyone gets an email, that confirmation, the PDF is sent to the email.
Wow.
And that's done. So now back in the office, this estimate we just had is converted from the opportunity, and we'll see that it is accepted.
That's so cool.
This is just out of the box. We haven't even customized it yet. The cool is when you get customizing. And if we went over to Bob Crenshaw in QuickBooks, back to we actually have a real-time sync. So transaction. Where do they keep changing it? Huh?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's sales now. It's sales.
Yeah.
So Bob Crenshaw, there's the accepted estimate. So it's marked as accepted also in QuickBooks, which is important for those people in the back office, making things easy between the front office and the back office. So that's accepted. Now, say I wanted to make a sales order because it's accepted, go back into it. And so QBO doesn't have sales orders.
Right.
Yeah. QuickBooks Desktop does. QuickBooks Online does not. We do. So it's a non-posting transaction. It doesn't go to QuickBooks because it needs to live inside here. But you can create a sales order here, which is pretty important for wholesale distribution manufacturing.
Yeah.
And now we've created a sales order, which we can then send.
Wow.
So this is a very basic looking sales order, right? It has nothing special on it. I'm going to show you an image of what one of our customers who does cabinets, what theirs looks like.
Okay.
It's more than just item description, order quantity, rate limit. It's a lot more. So here's an example. A little bit up there for you. So you have extra things they put in here, like the color type, the color. What portion is 3 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches, special notes, part codes, manufacturing codes, and then like the ship via third party and like all these extra pieces of information that is very important to them. They customize their method to track this information. And they would probably track this at like an estimate stage as well.
Okay.
They probably wouldn't have only put in the color type and color at the sales order. They probably would have added columns to the estimate screen, which would flow into the sales order and also flow into the invoice. But I thought what I'd do is dive a little bit into some customization.
Let's do it.
God's being willing, and geek it out a little bit and add like color type and color to my sales order. So let's go back in the method. Let's go into my sales orders app,
Okay.
and I'll just choose that one we chose. So here's just the sales order. Now it's just by itself rather than inside of Bob Cranshaw's screen.
Yep.
It can live in both places. So I'm going to go to customize screen. So anyone can do this. It does get a little intimidating once you know what you're doing. It's really straightforward. There's no coding involved. Our team does this mostly for our clients, but we have some like clients who just like get hooked and just spend all weekend long doing this rather than spend time with their family. So I'm going to go to that sales order line, that grid, and here's where I set it all up. So I'm going to choose which columns are in here. Right now we see the item, description, order quantity. Those guys are in there. I'm going to add those extra fields that we wanted to put in, which was the color tone and color. Now, I've already added those fields to the database.
Sure.
Add unlimited fields of various types to the database. Create your own tables. It's a full application development environment. You can create anything. So out of those two, and now I'm going to figure out what the order should be. So visible columns, I'm going to make the color tone probably right after the description. Makes sense. And then the color right after color tone. And I think I need everything else. I'm going to keep it the way it is. I can change the sorting and I can make little filters and really just build it out.
Yep.
But that's all I'm going to do today. So something very simple like that.
Let me ask you a question. It was 2-tone, right? If there was 3-tone or 4-tone, could you make that a drop down so that it is possible for your estimator to just have certain things that they can select from, or would they have to be typing in that information every time?
Great question. So what I did before I got on you today is I actually made that drop down. So we can go to our sales orders and go to our preferences. And I can customize the list of my tones. So I added 2-tone gloss. I could add like a 3-tone.
Yeah.
Like insert that as well. Like, why not? So now when I go back to my sales orders, like the estimate we had, or the sales order before, so we have color, tone, and color are now in there. And so then I can choose from that drop down.
Awesome.
3-tone, one that you and I just inserted.
Yeah.
And we have like red. Here I had to type out, this could be a color as well. You can also have it so like if you choose 3-tone, automatically on selection, it would say, okay, make that red, make that quantity 4, and so forth. Change it based on certain price codes or whatever workflows you want to do, right?
Sure.
And if you look at that pretty crazy example I gave you before of this guy,
yeah,
there's a lot of lines below this screenshot, right?
Okay.
That would probably be standard. Like if you just choose that cart 5, there's probably 10 lines that go in, boom, 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 right afterwards, every single time. And so what a lot of people would do is say, well, I'm just going to make little templates. So when I choose this one, it just automatically populates an entire sales order of defaults rather than have one of my staff fill that out and possibly make a mistake every time. And so you could just change it. So like, I mean, I'll do something really silly just to prove a point. So I'll go back and customize this again. I'm not sure this will work. I haven't tried this, but go back to this. So on click. So this is where I kind of code it. I can have a bunch of actions that I can have go through, but I will say show message. I'll say hi, Jim. So that's now saved. So I go back to this screen. I click it. Will it work? No, it has to be read only. Yeah, that would only work if the grid was read only. That the click would cause an event. So I need to do something different. But I think you get the idea, right? Like, I could have this when this drop down is selected. I could have it do anything.
That's awesome.
So entire apps are built this way. So we have people who have a version of Method that looks nothing like this. They've made their own dog walking app or their own. Got some crazy examples that we have, like the mosquito franchise that has 100 franchises that go around and spray people's backyards with mosquitoes. Like, their version looks nothing like this.
Well, and so I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of it for my purposes, right? Like I work to get sponsors and partners, right? and there are very specific deliverables for each level of my tiers, right? So I could put each one in, but then have, flag different things based on whatever product I put in there. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
you can
amazing.
do it. Yeah, anything you imagine you can do. Like um, you could even have it. You can put a button at the bottom here that says like send to work order system. Like imagine like this is as far as you want a method to go. Create the work order, and you have an inventory solution that takes over that part of your business you're happy with. You don't
Yep.
have to do everything inside method. Like you could have like fishbowl or locate or finale or all these inventory products. You could basically have a little button that says send the sales order to finale.
Wow.
And then it's gone, done, and like no coding would be involved to do that either. It'd
Wow.
just be little wizards.
So can you also, I mean, talking about your previous world with, landscaping and things of that nature, I see field crew as a button over there. Is this something where you could use this to also dispatch like service technicians or people working out in the field?
Yeah, so like you schedule a little work order here for fun for Bob Crenshaw and service item. It's a house call. That's probably all the information we need to fill in.
Yeah.
Now you have a job dispatched on the calendar. You
Wow.
can see week view, month view, day vertical, and then this can go down to the field crew. So the field crew is a mobile app, so it's not going to look great when I see it on here.
Sure.
But imagine this was actually in a mobile view. Yeah, actually, this is really all there is to it. Like it's on a mobile view, it's very scrunched.
Okay.
Built into the mobile app. So everything you build in Method is automatically mobilized. Like
Wow.
it's mobile friendly. So you build it in one spot, it fits on a mobile device. So you have to build it twice. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
And so you can in the field. They can capture the signature. They can mark as complete. They can start the job, which would time track it, stamp it, and then when they're done, they would complete it. So back to where I was saying before, we think of things in terms of the back office, front office, and where the work gets done. In the field is where the work gets done. And so they benefit from this too because they get real-time information at their fingertips. They don't have to call in.
Yeah.
Which is super helpful. Also, you can get SMS reminders or even push notifications. Say the new dispatch job, the dispatcher can notify their mobile app that this is a new job and get some information at the fingertips. They don't have to call in.
So can you also put work instructions in here, Paul? So
Yeah.
so I've got a client right now or a company I work with, and they are building these massive automation systems, and their service technicians that are going out into the field may not know everything the way that the person back at the home office does, right? Can that home office create work instructions and say, okay, step one is you remove the cover, step two, blah, 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 for each of those service calls, for those house calls?
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to do with it? Like, so you could just do that in free text. So if I go into it, I could have like one,
Sure.
do this, two, do that. If
Right.
it's so systemized where this is a common workflow that you need them to go through, you could just create a bunch of checkbox fields
Okay.
where they check, did this, didn't do this, check, and then that gets submitted from the field back to the office. And
Got
that's
it.
just a bunch of fields you add to the work order. Like it's
It's
not even a
not
big
anything
customization.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Got it.
no. And so we have people go pretty wild on customizing workflows for field service, but also for the manufacturing floor as well. It's very similar. Where the work gets done, if you can automate some of the information going to the field and coming back from the field to the front office, then you're cutting out steps and you're cutting out errors.
Wow. I love it, man. I
And
love
this
it.
is small business stuff, right? Like you can do this as a 10, 20-person company. You don't have to be a 200-person company going to ERP and
Right.
paying for a custom ERP. You can do this as a small business
I love it.
with this.
This is amazing. Uh, I can see how getting this set up would save so much time in the long run. How long does it take to deploy? I mean, out of the box, it's you just connect to QuickBooks, it
Right?
probably
Yeah.
right.
That's the big piece.
And then it's just however much time you want to put into customizing. Is that how it works? Or would a customer reach out to you and your team and say, okay, I don't know how to do what I want Method to do. Here's how I envision it, and you guys build that out for them?
Yeah, and that so the ideal customer, like our best customers, get that hiring a part-time Method person to do this for them makes sense, right? So
All
like,
right.
and so like, so it's like, so okay, let's get it synced with QuickBooks. That's easy. That's free. That's like it's all part of the process. Starting to use the invoicing or the CRM opportunities out of the box. That's easy. You don't need much help for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I've got a vision. I've got the sales order process where I want to track the color tones, and I want to make sure that it goes to multiple areas. I want that to go into a special tracking app that we currently have on a spreadsheet that costs us a huge amount of time every week. We want to put that into an order tracking system inside Method. That's when they would say, okay, let's partner with you on this one.
Got it.
So we have what's called a DEP, dedicated enhancement plan. Someone would pay $325 a month to
That's it.
slowly, yeah. Well, this, I mean, it's like it's gonna be a slow build. You can
Yeah.
add project time on top of it, but just to slowly get your workflows to match what you need. Because I would
Wow.
not recommend doing it all at once. Like adding a few fields to a work order, it's nothing. Doing a much more elaborate process of order tracking and making sure that it's all spread out to your partners, your vendors, your staff. That can get more elaborate, where you might do an extra project on top of the monthly 325. But it just allows people just to take pieces one bit at a time, um, and and really customize the system to their own needs.
That's awesome. It's creating incremental change, right? Internally. I love it.
Yeah,
What's
rather than
next
big
for,
bang.
yeah, exactly. What's next for Method?
Well, I mean, we're really focused on these three industries right now, which is
Mhm.
the manufacturing, wholesale distribution, field service in the second one, and then third being IT pro, so people doing professional proposals. But there's so many other industries that we could go after. But right now, we're just focusing on those three. And so what's next is just growth in those three areas, and
Awesome.
then figuring what's after that.
Awesome. I love it. Paul, what didn't I ask you that you want to share with the audience?
Nothing much other than they can go to method.me slash, I guess, manufacturer connector. And
Yeah.
and we have a checklist there on that site
Awesome.
that uh, you can go through and help figure out what you should automate next.
Awesome. I love that. How did people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
You can find me on X at Paul Alex Jackson, or you can just visit us at method.me.
You got it. Thank you very much for being on, Paul. I thought this was, and I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to be uh, condescending, but this is one of the most stupid, simple solutions that I have seen that is going to give back owners and executives in those small to medium sized businesses so much time. I thought it was phenomenal. Thanks for being on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Folks, that's a wrap. It's been like I said, stupid simple conversation, but it was very impactful, very insightful. We explored how we can actually personalize the automation that streamlines business operations. It can help keep cash flow on the positive side, and it gives you guys back your valuable time to focus on what really matters, and that's the growth and innovation within your business. So if Method sounds like the right fit for your business, head to their website to start a free trial. I think you guys offer a free trial, right, Paul?
We do. 14
All right.
days.
All right. Or explore their customizable CRM solutions. Don't forget to follow the MFG Connector on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more insights and innovative solutions transforming this industry of manufacturing. If today's episode sparked any questions, drop them in the comments below, and make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the Manufacturing Connector, and ring the bell so you never miss the episode. We have even more cutting edge tools and insights coming your way, so stay connected with us as we explore what's driving the future of manufacturing. Thanks for tuning in to the Manufacturing Connector.